Yay, it's live. I see it.
Hey,
Hey!
everybody! How's
Hello.
it going, guys? It's been a
Woo!
while. It's been a while since we've been here. It's been a whole 2 weeks. We were gone for the holidays. We were very, very sad. But now we're back and everything's great. I'm Brian. I play the Neptune and in the Ruby Abridged. And I'm also an audio person. And with me, I have Forrest. Forrest, what do you do?
I am on this podcast. Hello.
Wow, that's amazing.
I
Beau,
know.
what do you do?
I am the voice of Winter and Ilya, and I've currently lost my voice. I do other things. If you don't know who I am, I'm sorry. I'm irrelevant.
Yeah, Beau's not gonna be talking too much this episode because their voice is all fucked and we don't want to hurt them. But they're still hosting the stream, so thank you, Beau, for being a trooper.
Of course, I will be in chat talking under the KRWBY account. So yeah.
And we have a special Gerst with us.
Woo!
Special Gerst, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Levi. I'm one of the writers of the show for KRWBY Abridged. I'm also one of the producers. I'm involved in a lot of other silly things. I write some of this and that. And on occasion, I'm blessed enough to be one of the guests on KRWBY Talk. And I love it. And, honestly, it's been several months. Was my last performance that bad? Did I make you guys mad?
I think the last time we had you on was Attack on Titan.
It's because my name was Levi. We all know the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, I did want to ask, that screen name you gave earlier, isn't that the guy who plays Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
What?
Vagina Neptune.
Oh,
Vaseline,
Neptune Vagina
nipple clamps.
Sales.
That's the one.
Mr. Cucumber Patch?
That's the guy. I knew I heard that name before.
Yeah. Benedict Cucumber Patch. That's his name, right?
But yeah, so welcome everybody. Tonight we are talking about RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 9, So Below. Or As Above, So Below, excuse me. I miswrote that. Let me fix that. As above.
Gee.
Missing a whole half the title there.
Yeah, missing a whole half the title. Look, I was taking notes very quickly. So like the heat is off. That's
bad.
That's very bad. We knew that from last episode, though.
Yep.
It's out of the frying
But
pan
now
into
we're
the
seeing
snowstorm.
Yep. So they are having, definitely there's lots of unrest in Mantle. Oh, sorry. By the way, if you have not seen RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 9, which is only available for first members, spoiler warning.
All the spoilers.
Stop watching now.
We are talking about the latest episode of RWBY. So if you haven't seen it and you care about spoilers, now is a good time to leave. You can come back in a week. This podcast will be archived. But yeah, so they're still having that conversation over at Jacques' estate, and they've really kind of got Ironwood, I should say, on the ropes. To the point that Robin even puts Ironwood on the spot and is like, "Oh yeah, you're not hiding anything? Well, y'all know what my semblance is, so why don't we find out?"
Yeah, he literally, he had to have known that, right? Like, he knows what her semblance is. She says that everybody knows, and then he's like, "Well, I'm not hiding anything." And then she calls him on it immediately. He's like, what did he think was going to happen? What? Now, luckily, he doesn't actually have to make the awkward, oh, well, I am hiding something, but I can't tell you what it is, so I can't shake your hand, because you saved at the last minute by someone walking in the door.
Yup.
Yeah, love Ironwood, but he's not the smartest one.
Not in this episode, he's not.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, huh?
Yeah. Weiss shows up with a very, very incriminating video of Jacques with Watts.
All the incriminating, you could say.
In that video,
it's
she's
about
like, "You are not the father."
See, it's almost I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna make it anymore because it's too politically charged.
Whoops. Yeah, no, but it's a very incriminating. It's his whole conversation with Watts about how they're gonna like totally be jerks and take over the city and like get Jock elected. It just keeps going, and it's just more bad news for our Mr. Schnee over here.
Beau's right. This whole volume is politically charged, Brian.
This is true. This is true.
They ain't wrong.
Yeah, essentially, so yeah, definitely, very, very incriminating in everything that Jacques says there. Also, like, I have to wonder about how stupid Jacques is too, because
Pretty dumb.
I thought that there would have been something much, I thought that there would have been something much more into it, I guess, for or more in it for Jacques, other than just simply like winning the election, because it's revealed that he has to give up basically his admin password to the SDC, which is like, I don't understand how a businessman like Jacques could have been conned by essentially the same trick as the Norwegian prince who wants to give out money if you just send him your credit card.
I think it's Nigerian, but yes.
You're right, Nigerian prince.
The
I'm
Nigerian
very tired.
prince scam, yes. Well,
Yeah.
and it's revealed later as they're like interrogating him about this, like Ironwood says something off the cuff like, "Oh, I bet you didn't even think about the fact that Watts is now going to have access to all of the Atlas network." And okay, by the way, their net security still not very good.
No.
Like, get some ITP. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I can elaborate on that for you.
Okay.
I've known people like Jacques before, and it's a very common mistake people like Jacques do in their positions of power or whatnot. Someone like him is used to being in charge and being the top dog and pulling all the strings. He's been so disconnected from reality and society, he doesn't remember what it's like to be around someone who's not a yes man that he paid for. So when he actually is in the presence of somebody who's more clever than him, he doesn't think for a second that somebody like that is going to outsmart him, even though to the rest of us it's painfully obvious. A guy like that has only paid for yes men his whole life, and now he's paying for it this day.
Well, okay. I can see your point there, but I would also offer that he didn't get to his position of power where he can tell all of the yes men what to do by just being around yes men, right?
Yeah,
Like
and
he definitely has outcompeted and outfoxed some pretty cunning people. Like he's always dancing around Ironwood, right?
Yeah,
I don't think he thinks that Ironwood is just a
yeah,
yes
he
man
was
that he can
winning
boss
against
around,
Ironwood
right?
until
Like
Weiss showed up. Like
he's got like
Winning isn't the
he
word.
led Winter in multiple situations into his trap. Same for Weiss. Like you can see how effective his manipulation was on both Weiss and Winter. Both very, very smart characters. So yeah, it really, I guess, I mean, we were kind of saying it a little bit like before the podcast started, which is like, I'm really kind of disappointed that this is what takes Jacques down, because I feel like he's gotten taken down for like the stupidest of stupid mistakes.
It's like
yeah.
Al Capone, tax evasion.
Got him on tax evasion. Yeah. Well, this is, I mean, again, maybe this just goes to like no one understands security in this universe, right? Like he thought his wife was just like totally out to lunch, right? And that she wasn't, she's just drinking wine in the garden all day and not really paying attention to the bad things that he's doing. And here she is over putting bugs on all of his cameras in all like in his office, literally in the most what should be his most secure room in the building, right?
You might say that was pretty cold of her.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my god.
Indeed.
Yeah, like I feel like taking Jacques down like this was just too easy.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like this is a setup. Like, oh, but he's really got the he's pretty screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
it's the
how he
end,
gets out of
personally.
this one. It was. I will say it was very cathartic to see him in the
Oh,
hot
yeah.
seat finally. You know, it was nice to see everybody bullying him for a change and being
Hey,
like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, Beau. Paris Castillo says, "Hey, KRWBY, I don't mean to bother you. I'm just wondering, when is Nondescript Foot Holiday 2?"
When it's done.
That's right. You heard it here, folks.
We're working on it. We were even reviewing some stuff today, for it. So it's coming along. There's some cool stuff happening. But sorry, what were you saying for it?
no,
Cathartic.
important
Jacques in
distractions.
trouble.
I was just saying it was good to see Jacques get like his comeuppance. I think.
Yeah,
that
no,
was...
it's like it's definitely satisfying to see him like get carted away because you're like, man, fuck that guy, right?
and the
But I
scene with
wanted to
Weiss.
be, but
The
like
scene with
I
Weiss
wanted
being
that
like, "You're under arrest, Dad."
like
Can I do that?
like I wanted that hell yeah moment, and that hell yeah moment never came, at least for me.
Well, I think because maybe it was too easy, right?
Yeah.
Like it was cathartic, but it wasn't like, aha, we outfoxed you. It's like, no, he kind of
No,
outfoxed himself.
he
That
was just dumb. Like
Blinded
that's
by the power.
yeah.
like that's really what it boiled down to. Like there wasn't anything particularly cunning or smart that Weiss or Winter or anybody else did to take him down. It was literally he was dumb.
Well, and I think it was too sudden too. Like he didn't have any chance to try and weasel his way. Weiss walks in, says, "I have this video. Let's all watch." Okay, they all watch the video. Oh, shock! You did a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
there's no amount of weaseling. Like he literally just tries to run.
Yeah.
He gets slammed.
Can
But
I
yeah,
real
Weiss
fast?
Weiss
Can I
go ahead.
point out the cinematic beauty of the fact that the night that her father forced her to fight to win her freedom is what she used to stop him from running away.
You know,
Like
that's
I do appreciate that.
That is very good.
that's some
My
poetic
girl.
justice there.
My
I
girl.
love
I
it.
was just this whole episode I was like, fuck it up, Weiss.
I
Wait,
do. I
you-
did very much enjoy her line of like, Jacques Cheny, you are under arrest.
I have a punchline for you.
Can I do that? Like,
You might say this wasn't his night.
oh my god!
I'm going back to being
I didn't
mute
realize
again.
Star was on the podcast.
The puns.
It's what I do.
Actually, I think Artia makes more puns than anybody else.
Bring it on.
This
We'll have a
is
pun battle
true.
right now. Cancel the podcast.
Pun battle?
Let's go.
A pun off.
Yep. Put him in the
But,
pun entry.
Yeah, so meanwhile, riots are breaking out in Mantle, and Watts is all pleased with himself, as is Tyrion. They're like, haha, look at the mayhem we have caused. We are so evil.
People are throwing fire dust into things and making explosions. And...
Also, can we talk about the fact that they turned off the heat, and Tyrion does not have a coat?
it's because he's cold-blooded. He doesn't need a coat.
Actually, that would make him go to sleep. That's how that works. Actually.
Yes, you're not wrong. And endothermic or ectothermic creatures don't. Yeah, it's not how that works. But it's okay. He's a scorpion.
So then after we see the riots breaking out in Mantle, a lot that comes my next comes my next biggest issue really with this episode is the fact that Ironwood just starts talking about the secret and her out loud in front of everyone, and it really it was another case of like I felt like they made a character dumber than they actually are because they needed to get things moving.
Well, see, my initial reaction to that when he was like, "Oh, we gotta keep the secret a secret. Shh, don't tell anyone." Right in front of the council members and Robin, was that, oh, he doesn't care anymore. He's like, well, cat's out of the bag. But not that
Well,
not that arresting Jacques did anything in that regard, but
I feel you, but I feel
maybe I
this
just
there's
thought
a
maybe
little
he was
deeper
like,
to it.
okay, we're all on the same page now. We can all work together. I can tell people, but then they have to argue with him to bring him on board that idea of telling everyone. So
Yeah, and also
I
had he
was a
done
little
that, like,
confused.
he was still like he was doing the anime thing where he was, like, it was like, ah, yes, it's time to do that. Like he was playing the pronoun game. So it's just like it felt very weird, both from a character perspective and from a general, like, just dialogue writing perspective.
Well, he
I
does
feel you.
mention Amity, right, which gets
He mentions Amity.
Robin Hill's attention because she was told by
Mhm.
Blake and Yang about that. But
But
then
then
he just
But then
keeps
he
going.
literally has he has the gall to turn around later and be like, "Wait, you know about that?" when he literally just mentioned Amity. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
I'd like to point out that he
Mhm.
specifically just says Amity, but which the Coliseum is called Amity. What Robin says specifically is the Amity Communications Tower, which
Okay.
specifies that she knows what Amity is being changed to.
Okay, point taken.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I could put a little exposition on this point here, more specifically here, it wasn't just about Ironwood being stupid, followed by stupid with stupid, and eventually telling truth. It was about him understanding the comparison that the way he was taught to handle things came from Ozpin, and that was incorrect because the old expression: "If you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've got." You have to
Mhm.
change something to get a new result, and they all said it to him. Oscar says it to him, and people keep reflecting that to him. It's just like, well, this is what Ozpin would have done, but that's where we are now and it's not good. And finally, after like the fifth or sixth time in like the couple episodes leading up to it, he was just like, don't be Ozpin. This is what Ozpin would do, and that's not been working. The girl
Mhm.
said it to him, was like, Ozpin lied to us and then we lied to you, so that's our fault and we're sorry we did it. We shouldn't have done that. And he started to see that, what, maybe a chance at open communication could be the thing that gets us there. Now, I'm not excusing everything, but I do feel that's the angle that I got out of it. And I think that some of the lesson they were trying to teach in there is,
No,
be willing to change a new strategy.
I no, I agree. I'm like, and I'm not arguing that point. Like, I liked the little bit where, like, Oscar sat down with Ironwood a little bit later and, told him about what Jin had said and, kind of talked him through it. And also, like, Oscar talking Ironwood into it, opening up to, Robin and the other council people, then and there. Like, that stuff was all, I think, decently well done. It's just there were these really weird choices that were made, these really weird dialogue things that just felt like, why? Like, I don't even really know why Jacques could have, like, had to say, or not Jacques, why Ironwood had to say what he needed to say in order to steer the conversation in that direction. Like, it really just felt like pulling back on his character and his character making a a dumb mistake that I could never imagine Ironwood making.
I mean, they could, in defense, they could have been trying to show that he was sort of not behaving like himself, like he was sort of, I don't know if maybe calling it a mental breakdown is the right way, but he was like sort of slipping a little bit and
Oh,
letting
definitely.
things,
There are
revealing things that he shouldn't have. But
there I agree, although I think that there are other ways to show that. Like, I actually thought that that was demonstrated better through him being like, no, I can't divert resources from Atlas. you know, like him kind of being at his wit's end came across a lot better with that moment than him just talking out loud in front of everyone.
Yeah.
You ever heard the expression "heavy is the head that wears the crown"? It sucks
Like
to be in
it
charge.
would have, like, honestly, it would have made more sense if he had let information slip in that, like, in that moment with you know, in that moment where he like was yelling and impounding on, like, you know,
Right. Like out
he,
of like he was upset and he just like kind of let something slip as he was yelling
yeah,
at the
and then you
wall
could and
versus
then like
like
you could, and then potentially see in his face immediately afterwards that he just realized what he did, like he just
ah
realized that
shoot.
he slipped up, you know. But that's
Yeah.
not what happened.
No, he kind of like
Mhm.
mumbles to himself almost
Mhm.
as he's talking about, oh, you know, the secret. We gotta keep the secret. The secret. It's just like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know what
just
you're doing.
felt, yeah, it just felt it,
Sorry, you just painted an image in my head. That's great. I'm now seeing Ironwood as Kronk talking about the secret for Cusco, Cusco's secret. But it's Ozpin. It's like, yes, Ozpin's secret, the secret for Ozpin, Ozpin's secret. Yes, the secret specially designed by
I'm
Ozpin.
now so sad that that is not what Abridged Ironwood is.
It fucking might be.
But he could be.
It could be. I don't know.
um,
Oh God.
but yeah, no, like it was definitely, yeah, that those were two of my biggest issues, I guess, with this episode. Not my only issues with this episode, but my biggest ones for sure. And that it just felt like Jacques' comeuppance came really quickly. It felt like it was very rushed and not earned. And then at the same time, it felt like they regressed Ironwood's character to somebody who's not as smart. And
Certainly not as tactful,
yeah,
you know.
Hey, he's good at
and they
shooting
did that for
things, not
Jacques
reading.
too. They definitely made it feel like Jacques was a lot dumber than they initially made him out to be.
Well, he again, like he doesn't have any weaselly moments. Like he has like, that definitely was listening to your conversation.
I
Yes,
mean,
definitely.
not just that.
Or
No businessman, you know, with tactical cunning worth their salt is going to agree. It doesn't matter what you're offering. They're not going to agree to give you the keys to their empire. Like,
without some sort of, you know, because he had.
well,
Yeah, you
in
don't
that
give them that
conversation,
kind
he
of.
never even asked, "What are you gonna do with it?" He was just like, "Oh, you want the keys to the SDC, and in exchange, I get to win an election. Cool, that
Cool.
wins me an election." Like,
But
no.
well, and he at no point does he have any sort of like you don't give somebody that kind of power. Sure, he's offering to buy you an election. Okay, great, but he still needs a card to play after that.
Right,
Right? Like you
exactly.
don't give somebody the password to your company and then not have thought, well, you know, I immediately changed the password and logged him out of the system after he won me the election. Like, of course, I wasn't just going to let him have free reign of the. Oh wait, I did
Except
do
he
that.
did. Like, he never even and it's basically canonically established that he never even thought about what Watts was gonna do with that login.
Well, that's what Ironwood yells at him, and he
You
doesn't.
know?
He doesn't refute that or anything.
Yeah, it's just like that. If you're a businessman, not only are you constantly thinking about what's in it for me, every deal you're also thinking about what's in it for the other guy. Why is it worth their time?
And
If
how can I still be on top?
right,
Right. It once I get a seat on the
Mhm.
council. I mean, we're working with some unscrupulous guy that now has complete access to the Atlas network with no check on that power.
Mm-hmm.
What is he then going to do with that? What does it mean to have a seat on the council if I've given this guy access to all of the systems in
Hey,
the city? Like,
where does a 2,000-pound elephant sit? Wherever he wants to.
Yeah.
Wherever. Speaking of elephants, there were some of those in this episode.
Yup.
They
There
had
sure
more
were.
We don't talk
tusks
about that.
than before.
Yup. The Grims also start attacking because of all the rioting in Mantle.
Yep.
Robin
part of the plan.
is also now much more trustworthy of Ironwood.
Well, yeah.
And Oscar, as we were said earlier, he convinces Ironwood to tell key people about Salem. And then in the background, that's the first little glimpse that we get of a spooky butler.
Oh yes, the spooky butler who was in the last episode and didn't have any voice lines.
Yep. Funny that.
There was also speaking of more. Is this when we? I forget where in the episode Oscar or Oscar and Iron would have this interaction. I think it's when he's telling him about, when he convinces him, hey, you got to actually tell people about this, right? Ironwood has this interesting moment that I wanted to talk about, right? Where he's like, oh, you almost sound like that's something Oz would say.
Oh yeah. It like Oscar is starting to sound more and more like Oz.
And I think I think we can give credit to Beau here. They may have been the first to come up with this, or at least the first to bring it up on the podcast. But we've had this theory for a while now that maybe Oscar's not actually in charge upstairs, and hasn't been for maybe Ozpin didn't really go away, and he's sort of secretly either merged or replaced Oscar at this point, and we just haven't been aware. This is kind of the first hint, I think, of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely I definitely concur. It definitely feels like I'm looking forward to see where they go with that for sure. Now, in terms of, because we had some people talking about it in the chat, so there's a moment between Ruby and Oscar, where they're out in the hall as they're running off to go, fight the Grimm and whatnot, and they like start awkwardly like stumbling over each other and whatnot, and it's a very, I'll be real, it's a very blatantly shippy moment.
Yeah. I definitely got. The person I was watching it was like, with we were like, and now kiss. No wait.
Yeah. And so here's the weirdest thing about this scene to me, because this is another issue that I have with this episode. I feel like on its own, that little interaction was very good. I do not know why it was in this episode. I genuinely don't.
Yeah,
like it felt like a very weird place to put that interaction when they're like, "Oh man, the power's off. People are dying. Hang on, let's be cute here for a second though." Like,
I mean, to be fair, they've done this at other times too. We had like, oh, we're gonna go fight a giant golem in a mine full of dust. Let's have a cute little moment for like, I don't know. They've done things like this before. It's sort of like,
so
that's different though. For one, those little moments did not last the length of a full scene. They were literally just moments. And two, the stakes were not this high. There weren't people actively dying in Mantle. The Grimm weren't totally overrunning the city because of all of the panic. This is probably the worst Grimm attack that Mantle has faced because of all of this panic, right?
Fair enough. Where's Ren to say, hey guys, we got to focus on the mission?
Exactly. Hey guys, like it felt very strange for them to be like, we got to move, we got to go help people, but hold on a second though.
Yeah.
I get that they were like, oh, we need to tell Ironwood, but I feel like the mood was not anywhere even close to right for having that cute scene. It really just it really did make Ruby and Oscar feel like much more incompetent huntsmen and huntresses, or a huntsman and huntress rather than.
Well, the wolf guy points that out, right? He's like, kids,
right.
which is
but
like kind of, he kind of plays it off
Mhm.
as a joke, but that's a fair.
Like, I get that they're like, but that's once again, this feels strange because it feels out of character because in the past, yes, Ruby has, as even in this episode, or has displayed, being, and the season has displayed being childish and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to a fight, Ruby's always on the ball. She's there, she's present, she's serious until the fight is over.
Well,
Right.
and she's already like she already sort of takes a little bit of charge when when they really decide, oh wait, Mental's under attack, let's go. She tries to do the rally of the troops kind of thing. Okay
Mhm.
guys, we got to go do our jobs. And then Mr. Lucky Rabbit's Foot guy is like, yes, let's go.
Handle.
So why she wasn't at the head of the pack leading the charge? Come on, people, let's go, let's move it, get to the dropships. I don't
Mhm.
know, right? Like she was in that leadership position, and then wasn't for this scene,
Yeah.
and then goes back to it.
It
It's
was
a little.
it was very strange pacing wise. Like I said, individually, I think the scene is great. I just don't
Okay.
know
They
why it was in this episode.
they have this habit of conveniently infantilizing Ruby when they want her to act like a child still. But then they
Mhm.
make this whole like argument of, oh, she's grown, she's matured, blah blah blah. But then they have moments like this where, yeah, everyone has like, their inner child and whatnot, but it just really made this moment specifically stand out in a negative light to me
Mhm.
because it just felt so out of character that it was like she's been this badass leading the charge this whole time, like you guys just said, and then suddenly she just kind of relapses to volume 1 Ruby again.
Well,
Yeah.
I think maybe because you guys are saying you liked the scene, maybe it's more like, and
I
it's clear like the
personally
placement
didn't like the
here.
scene. That was me
Okay,
though.
Brian liked the scene, you didn't.
I like well no like
But
but what Beau said is absolutely right. I like the scene at like I said, individually I like the scene. If you take the scene out of context, I think it works
right.
because we have seen Ruby, put on that more childish nature. She is still kind of awkward, in talking with people. So like
Hmm.
I could totally see this particular uh conversation happening with Oscar in this way,
Not here.
but not here when they're about to go off to a major battle.
Yeah, like if this had happened in a different episode,
That
if this had
part of it
happened
made
earlier in the episode, before they were informed that Mantle was under attack,
yeah,
okay,
that
fine.
part made me feel as though like Beau said, it really felt out of character for Ruby. I feel like Ruby and Oscar would act that way, but once they get into a battle situation, it's game on. And they're
Especially,
especially Ruby.
well, and especially if we're assuming that Oscar and Ozpin are, like they've merged at this point. That's not a very Ozpin-y thing to do either.
Mm-hmm.
Which sort of
But maybe that
Unless
was on
maybe
purpose.
that sort of knocks a little bit
um,
onto the theory of them
unless
having merged.
unless maybe he's trying really hard to maintain that Oscar like
Good old red hair.
Uh,
like perspective, so that way perspective's not the word I'm looking for, sorry. That Oscar facade,
Perception.
persona, I think,
yeah,
is
persona,
Yeah.
in order,
so.
because maybe he's worried that if they realize that they've assimilated or that it's
Or whatever.
Ozpin, that they won't trust him anymore, so he's
So he's like,
pretending.
what would Ozpin do? Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or he's pulling personality traits from Oscar, or if they are fully assimilated, like Ironwood said, you can't tell the difference where one starts and one ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot more of Ozpin than there is of like Oscar is one person, but Ozpin is generations of people, right? Like we don't
Right.
exactly know how this assimilation process works, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna swing more heavily in the Ozpin direction.
Mm-hmm. And the thing too that I wanted to bring up is you kind of touched on the scene a little bit, Forrest, with the scene with Ironwood and Oscar when Oscar is like, okay, Ironwood, so like we kept some information from you. Here's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ironwood leaves that scene with the line, Oscar, no more surprises, all right? I don't think I can handle it. Yeah, there's gonna be more surprises.
Uh-huh.
Dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
we've already established that at some point they're gonna drop the city on, they're gonna drop
Yeah.
Atlas on top of Mantle because they're gonna have to swap the staff out to keep the thing afloat, right? The Amity Coliseum tower thing.
Right.
That would probably be a surprise. I don't think they're planning on doing that. So
Yeah. So
speaking of surprises, there is a guest appearance. I guess she was in the last
well,
episode.
hold on. There's one little moment that we got to get to before that.
Dang it! I just want to talk about it. But
So we get to see Jacques get carted away. And we get to see how Whitley reacts to that. Whitley is all
Oh,
upset
that's-
about it, which is natural. We kind of expected that. But I really hope to God they don't leave this here. I really hope we get Weiss coming back and talking to Whitley and kind of helping him through this, because this is obviously really difficult for him.
yeah,
He idolized his father. That's the way he's kind of coped. We talked about this on a previous episode. That's the way he's coped with Jacques' abuse.
it's his coping mechanism is to
Yeah.
sort of be like him, and
Mm-hmm.
so maybe if you're like him, he won't be as much of a jerk or
Be
Right.
invisible.
something. Maybe the thinking goes. I mean, I think they set that up well enough, like with Mama Schnee telling Weiss, "Hey, don't forget your brother."
Well,
So-
they've set it up. Now they got to deliver on it.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Though, is it seems it would be weird if they didn't deliver on that because
Yeah.
they've set it up, right?
Mhm.
So I think we'll get that scene.
Now we can talk about what you want to talk about.
Neo.
Are we
Yup,
not gonna
Neo's
address?
back.
Are we not gonna address the entire like airship scene with the new Grim?
Oh yeah,
I mean-
there was new Grim.
That's true. Velociraptor pterodactyls.
The
Those get enough.
Teryxes.
Is that really what they're called?
Yes,
Apparently.
Teryx.
Morty,
Teryx
you gotta shoot down the Teryx.
Oh my god. They're whatever they're called. Yes, I love their design. The see-through wings and everything.
Okay, now we can talk about Cinder and Neo.
Okay. Neo's back.
Yup.
Tell you, Neo just left me speechless.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. I do want to
I-
say
oh, no.
I did go back and I want to say it was Volume 7 Chapter 7 episode of the podcast that I was like, I think Cinder and Neo are going to be back in the next 2 episodes.
Oh shit.
Lo and behold.
Ring ring ring. You can answer that cuz I fucking called it.
So I have to.
Did you predict it was going to be the butler though?
It's always the butler.
It's always
Have
the
you
candlestick.
Have you
In the
never read
pantry
a
with the
single-
candlestick.
Yeah, it's the butler.
Dun, dun,
Um,
dun.
So
I guess you picked up on the clues.
I know that I said this earlier before the podcast, but I got to reiterate it for the chat. Hands down, my favorite part of this episode was Neo's hat flick.
Tweet.
It was pretty great.
Can
Just
we-
because it was Neo flicking her hat, I mean,
It's just Neo's got so much style.
Can we talk about how amazing like the animation for her semblance looked in that scene?
Right?
yeah, that's true.
Woo.
That
It
was
looked so good. I'm just like, ah.
That's good
She's-
shit.
she's just got so much sass like that.
She does. She has so much sass without ever saying a word. It's great.
That's one of
The
my
eye
favorite things about
roll.
Neo. It's a speechless character, and you always know what they're saying because of the level of sass. It is the language they do things, and
Yes.
it's just so clear. No one's ever asking, "Oh, what did Neo really mean?" No, we know.
Neo
every
is
time.
like the Lopez of RWBY, but she just doesn't say anything at all.
I kind of imagine Neo almost as like almost as kind of like Rin from Project Mouthwash's Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works Abridged, where it's just like that, those levels of just overtness and sass. My name is Rin Tosaka. Do not fuck with me.
Yeah, that's
like,
if Neo could speak, I feel like those are words she would say.
yeah. Like that's the vibe I get from her, and I absolutely love it.
What I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that we get a Neo fight scene with Casey doing efforts for her since she did the efforts for Cross Tag Battle. I'd love to hear some efforts for Neo in the actual show.
That would be
pretty
great.
I mean, Neo's fight scenes are usually pretty good, so
Yeah.
and we've gone a couple episodes here without any big fight scenes, so I'm feeling like a fight scene's coming up.
I do want to point
We're due
out.
one.
Oh, go.
I was just saying we're due one, so yeah, continue.
Oh, okay. I do want to point out that there seems to be, I've seen it a lot, like on Twitter and on Tumblr, there seems to be a lot of confusion about, the whole, like, oh, is Cinder gonna go after the Winter Maiden? Is she gonna go after Winter? They're there to kill Ruby. Like, lest we forget. Like, their goal is to kill Ruby.
Well, yes, but given her like focus on, I don't know if she still wants to collect all the maiden powers, but we were kind of speculating that maybe that was like her ultimate goal as super baddie, was to like become the ultra super villain by collecting all the powers, and the Winter Maiden's just sitting right there,
Well, but the
doing some
problem
art or
is
whatever.
they never once mentioned the Winter Maiden during the dinner, and they never once mentioned like where she is. So like I highly doubt, like, at least all of the scenes that they showed where Neo was like in the room with them when they're talking, they were just talking really about the politics stuff. She was never in the room when they were actually talking about the top secret stuff. And the shot of her when they first make the reveal that it's her is when Ruby specifically runs out. They have a deliberate shot of Ruby running out of the room, and Neo smirks and watches her run out the room.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think
she's there
I just
to
had
find
a thought.
Ruby.
I really, really want to write a VR short that details what it's like when Cinder and Neo are just together, when they're not planning how to kill Ruby, and just have to coexist together.
Oh my god.
I can see 10
It's a
different
lot of
versions, and I like every one of them.
It's a lot of stony silence from one of those two characters. And I'm not talking
Getting
about
like an
Neo.
Abbott and Costello thing in my head, and it's really funny.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
You guys know who that is? Abbott and Costello?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I have to. That essentially brings us to the end of the episode. We finished pretty early once again. But I guess first of all, before we get any further, any predictions regarding what's going to happen next?
Several. Obviously, lots of fights. Cinder's going to have an evil bad guy speech. Ah, you thought you were going to defeat Jacques or Adam or someone else, but it was me, Cinder. It's going to be very much like that. With some funny evil laughing, and then like Neo kind of making hand signs behind her,
To moral support.
Right? Definitely, I love the theory about Oscar and Ozpin. I think that's right on the money. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I agree. I think that's one of the ways this is going. However it happens, but not sure. Personally, I feel it's a bit of a weak theory, but I do see it happening. I think Blake and Yang are definitely going to make some kind of romantic interlude before the season is over. I don't know how deep. Maybe it'd be a wink, maybe it'd be a handhold, maybe a kiss. I don't know.
This is anime. Hand holding is the most lewd.
It's we call that hentai around here.
This is a show that does not have to be rated in any way, shape, or form. They can go further than hand holding. They can have hand holding with prolonged eye contact.
Lingering
Get off
eye
of the show right now.
contact.
That's like
How
Legend
dare
of
you.
Korra shit, man.
God damn. I didn't know RWBY was an ecchi anime.
Holy shit.
Get some of that Yuri action here.
My prediction is something that I haven't seen a whole lot of people point out. Is Winter wasn't with them in that airship. She was the only person that didn't go down with them to Mantle. So where did Winter
That's
go?
true.
I think she went
probably-
over to protect Freya, and I think something's gonna happen with that. I also think that with all of the teams going down to Mantle to fight the Grimm, I think that people are going to end up getting separated. And I think that a certain red-caped character is going to end up by herself and in the perfect opportunity to be possibly confronted and or attacked by a certain ice cream bitch and the Fall Maiden.
A RWBY Neo fight would be pretty cool.
Ooh, I'm down for that. I'm here.
Round 2.
I need more Neo action, man. That like Neo versus Cinder in Volume 6 was one of my favorite fights.
I think that Ruby's going to get hurt pretty bad, to be honest.
If it's just her versus the two of them.
They've been dropping some losing her eye vibes, to be completely honest, with how they had her hair like the last 2 volumes.
See, I see. Okay.
Eye patch, an eye for an eye.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. Cinder's been giving me those vibes. I'm a little worried about Crow, honestly, because if anybody's going to step in to fight off, in attackers in that situation, it would be Crow, and we've already been waving death flags for him.
We've been waving death flags for him since like Volume 4.
Crow's
got poisoned.
Crow's gonna be fighting Tyrion though, like we saw in the opening. He and Robin are gonna be fighting Tyrion. So that takes care of Robin and Crow, at least as far as where they're occupied. We still haven't seen Ironwood down in Mantle shooting his gun is something that we haven't seen yet too.
Well, I don't know if you can look at at least historically, the intros aren't always like
the last
scenes
ever since Volume 4, the intros actually literally spoil like all of the pair ups, like the fights that go on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fair enough.
So I'm just saying.
But that doesn't mean that they can't run into Tyrion and Watts first and then run into Cinder and Neo.
Fair, yeah. Like Ruby could like call for help and be like, "Yo, these bitches crazy."
Yeah.
Well,
those are my predictions. I also think, and I'm gonna say it now again on stream, I think that when everything reaches its peak in this season, or like the very end of the season, I think that Salem's gonna show back up. And I think that it's going to basically end with, like, Salem and Cinder crossing paths again. And it just being like,
Salem and her flying...
Yeah.
Her flying monkeys. Yep.
That's what I think. I'm calling it right now.
I have a marketing idea. Listening to all the correct predictions Beau has had here, I think it'd be great if we sold, like, a ringtone that's literally Beau screaming and chanting, like, "Ring, ring, hello, it's me again." I was right, called it. Click. I think we could sell that.
I need to make at least 40%, like, off of the profits.
$1 a ringtone.
Fair enough.
What do you think, fans? Would you buy it?
Shit, I'll
Beau
buy
called
it.
it ringtone.
You'll buy it.
There we go. Donate to our Patreon. Get yourself a ringtone.
There is a recording of Tina that you have, Beau, that will never see the light of day. From ALA last year. It's still my favorite thing.
Does it have anything to do with Maria Calavera? Because I don't know what it is.
No. Can
No.
we? I
I
mean,
love that.
we don't. We can't.
We've
We can
talked.
probably say what it is as long as we don't.
We've talked about it. It was Tina, and she was mildly intoxicated, and in her
Whoops.
RWBY voice
I
said,
may have also been mildly
in
intoxicated.
her
Just a little
RWBY
smidgy
voice,
widgy.
she said, "Fuck you, Ozpin."
Yeah, we were watching World of Remnant, and like we were just both talking, and then like Ozpin got louder, and she was just like, "Fuck you, Ozpin."
Yeah. And she was like, "I am mildly inebriated." Some people in the server have heard it. I think we've definitely played it on. I know Astral has it too.
Oh, that's
For the-
dangerous.
Yeah, it is
For the
dangerous.
record,
That's dangerous
A
giving
lot
it
of-
to Astral.
for the
Astral has
record, guys, a lot of
everything.
people in chat are saying they'd buy that ringtone.
There you go.
Good.
Marketing,
New
get on
source of
that.
revenue
Wait, I'm
there.
in marketing.
Our first official.
Yeah, in
I-
terms of
original
my
ringtone.
predictions, I think you guys covered it all. I think Ruby's gonna get ambushed.
You don't get no, Brian. You don't get to take my prediction and say, "Yeah, I
Well,
agree."
you guys already took my predictions.
We
I'm
all
the
have the
one
same
that gets to
predictions.
be right, though, because I haven't been wrong yet.
Yeah, no, I predict a battle. I don't really know where
least
things
one?
are going at this point, like plot wise. Like they've kind of left us open ended now that like they've given Ironwood all of the information. We don't really know exactly what he's gonna do with that.
Probably the wrong thing.
Probably.
Yeah. He's consistent, though, and we appreciate that.
I appreciate the consistency.
I have a random prediction for you. I think nobody's touched on it.
Okay.
There's this whole Tao Buddhist thing going on between I can't think of his name, but it's the Aesop that's talking to Crow all the time. I don't know. People are like, oh, gay shit. Maybe it is.
Clover.
Thank you, Clover.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, they're gay. I don't think that's what's going on, and it could be. Whatever, fine. But I see something else happening here. There's a yin and yang, dark and light thing going on. I think, and I'm feeling this. I'm not sure how it's going to play out exactly, but I feel a type of sacrifice happening where Crow steps up to be like, well, somebody's got to take the hits, and it's always been me. So here we are. The life-saving sacrifice. I'm going to die for everybody. And Clover will say, no, don't worry. I got it. And through acts of weird science, mysticism, other BS, just insert writer technique here.
Anime.
Clover is going
Because
to
anime.
transfer. He's going to transfer his semblance into Crow's, and then Crow's going to be this equally balanced person.
I don't know that that's possible, but it's cool.
Me either, but I'm feeling the way they keep talking about the yin and yang between these two. I'm feeling it. Like there's going to be something that happens and shit to it. I don't know how. Maybe they'll be a machine. I don't know. Maybe
they'll
it's part of
both
his power.
die.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'll be balanced. Well, if I thought you were gonna say like if Crow tries to sacrifice himself, then Clover's gonna take the hit for him. Be like, no, not today, Crow.
That's what I mean. Like Crow will start to, and Clover will be like, no, I've got it, and then like give whatever it is that makes Clover
And then
to him. Be like, hey, you're lucky today.
And then die.
And then
I-
Crow is like, no, they're my death flags. You can't take them from me.
Yeah, quite literally, like Lieutenant Danet,
Yeah, I
Forrest
think
Gump.
I'll see your Clover sacrifices himself,
Bring it
and
on.
I'll raise you. Clover thinks that everything's cool, and Crow's coming up like, oh man, we did it, and then all of a sudden Clover gets like shot or stabbed or something, and he just kind of like looks down at the wound and then looks at Crow and goes, huh, my luck was gonna run out eventually.
Yeah, well, that will be the line, absolutely.
Or something along those lines of
I
like,
have
well,
to
that's
acknowledge
unlucky.
Cool Wraith here for a second. They say Clover's hot, Neo's hot, Crow's hot, Yang's hot, and to that I have to say, yes.
Yes.
I
surprising
disagree. I
bisexual, is that the
disagree with
term?
the Cinder's not. She's the hottest of them all.
It's true. She's got the fiery semblance.
Her,
I mean,
her-
she's
her,
starting
to
her
get,
like-
semblance is literally called scorching caress. Like,
That sounds
I
like
don't
a
know.
hot
She's
sex
got a
move right
spooky
there.
arm now, and
Does have the spooky.
I'm
The
not into the spooky
spookies.
arms.
the spooky arms are
So-
fun.
If she's got a girlfriend and they're doing things, does that mean that they're gonna bone?
Oh no. I'm gonna end the stream.
Wait. No,
Hey.
there's one. I got one more thing. It's the
Mhm.
most important thing we haven't talked about.
Bring it on.
Okay.
There's a picture of Santa Claus in this episode.
What?
What?
Buff Santa.
Buff Santa. No,
Santa
it's
exists?
remember there was like a World of Remnant a long time ago that talked about how the Schnee Dust Company became a thing, and this is when we learned that Jacques wasn't like actually a Schnee. He married into the family and took
He
the
was
family name.
Jacques Joulet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he was like Kris Kringle basically. He had like a red cape and he walked around in the snow delivering presents. I don't remember what the World of Remnant was on about, but he's basically Santa Claus. I think that was
Nicholas
pretty.
Schnee
Check that out.
is
Nick
based
Schnee.
off of Santa Claus. That is confirmed.
There you go. I think we see a picture of him in the big meeting room, and he's wearing the same suit of armor as all of the armored, like all the suits around the Schnee Manor.
Oh
I'm
shit.
literally scrolling the episode while we talk because I have to find this.
It's at 12:09.
It's when he's
Okay.
talking to Jacques when Jacques sitting in the chair.
Ultra Godzilla fan says Buff Santa is Grandpa Schnee.
Holy crap, you're not wrong. What the fuck?
There's several. There was a shot last episode when Weiss was walking through the manor.
Yeah.
And you could see
That's
a different version.
Ultra
That's
Godzilla
like
fan.
Santa
Penny's
Claus.
semblance is being alive after she
Yeah,
died.
Or it's the lasers. I can't really tell.
Penny's
so I have to make this
semblance
comment
is
here.
that she can't tell a lie.
Hold up. Jacques Sneak, this painting here, he looks like Santa Claus in a Fate Stay Night game.
Oh my
That's
god.
exactly what's happening here.
You know, I don't know much about the Fate series, but what little I know makes me want to agree.
Hang on. Where you said it was 12:09? I need to
Yeah.
see this now.
It's Buff
Please go look at this.
Santa.
He looks like
Fuck!
Santa.
That is Fate Stay Night Santa!
I mean,
You're so
Someone
right,
please-
Levi.
Give us some fucking fan art, please. Somebody draw this now.
Realistically, you
Whoever's
guys-
listening, make it happen.
realistically, if you think about it, like almost all of the RWBY characters could be like Fate Stay Night versions of their actual characters.
True.
You know,
I, like,
you're right.
And freaking Nicholas Schnee's noble phantasm is bombarding everyone with presents.
Oh my god! And he goes, ho ho ho.
I give you the gift of presents, past and future.
How dare you say something so
check themselves.
controversial yet so true?
Oh
That's
man.
good.
God, somebody draw this, please, now.
So yeah,
Let everyone see in the chat.
to kind of wrap this up.
Oh,
I just
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Last thing. I think Pietro's gonna sacrifice himself because Penny's gonna get fucked up and he's gonna give up his
Oh,
life to
shit,
bring her
you're
back
right.
one
Yeah.
more time.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that last episode. Like that's
Mhm.
because they very specifically said, "Oh, I can't keep doing this forever. I only have so much semblance. If I revive her again, I'll die."
Yep.
Yeah, death
Yeah.
likes.
He's gonna do it one more time. He's like, well, it's better her than me. Hope this
Mm.
one sticks this time. Dies.
Stop
Please don't
dying,
die
Penny.
again.
Hope this one sticks. Yeet.
No. Closing line. He goes, I hope it works. This bitch empty. Yeet.
But yeah.
Can
I
you
just
believe
wanted to-
people let me outside unsupervised? Because I don't.
But yeah,
Um,
I just wanted to bring that back up.
Yeah,
You're right.
no, your predictive power is working overtime, but
So
Those new ringtone. Ring, called it.
yeah, the last thing to kind of just wrap this up that I wanted to talk about was this is kind of a new one for me. We haven't had one of these in a while. I really had a lot of problems with this episode. I was very disappointed with how a lot of things in this episode were handled, specifically because it felt like they, broke established characters on 3 separate occasions. Once with Jacques, once with Ironwood, and once with RWBY. And
And when plot starts
mhm,
shaping character decisions instead of characters shaping plot decisions.
right. So I really, it's been a very long time since I felt this way about a RWBY episode. It's basically been since Volume 5. And so I I just want to say I really hope that the way things were handled in this episode was isolated solely to just this episode. I really hope that this is not a sign of things to come in, how they're going to keep things moving forward to close out the season. Because I understand that they're playing with, there's a lot of complicated plot elements that they're dealing with. There's a lot of information that they need to get out. So they do have a difficult task ahead of them. I just, I really hope that difficult task doesn't get done at the expense of the characters. That's really the last thing that I wanted to say. Says I'm now. You got me a little worried, Rooster Teeth.
Nah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I think the next episode seriously is going to be just all fight. Like it's just
you know what,
have
and
a
that's
big
what
battle.
this show does really well.
It is. So I'm hoping to see some kick butt action.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of cool Grimm. I want to see these pterodactyl Grimm in action. Maybe some flying monkeys. We'll see.
Yep.
I will say Mr. EM, they did confirm that Roman is 100% dead as fuck. So
Yeah.
He digested.
yeah, he's like
no.
digested. So hate to
Yeah.
break
we
it
even
to
have
you,
the
but-
hat. We have the hat thing. A character's dead when their hat like floats up in the river, and Neo's literally wearing it.
Yeah, like
I'm just saying.
Roman has passed the mantle to Neo now.
Yeah.
She's the new Roman.
So she's just gonna be roaming around.
Oh my
Oh,
god! And
Jesus.
with that, we're gonna
end it now.
we're gonna
So-
close off the podcast. We got a couple housekeeping things to do before we totally say goodbye, though. This week we are going to be attending Anime Los Angeles in
Woo.
in Ontario, California, because that's not confusing.
Listen,
Not
it used
Canada.
to be
Don't go to Canada.
it used to be in Los Angeles, but they partied too hard and got kicked out of the hotel that was hosting them.
Thanks,
Oops.
Tina.
It's not Tina's fault. Happened like
Yeah,
6
so
years
we are
ago.
we are going to be attending Anime Los Angeles. So if you are in the LA, Ontario area, come by and say hi. We are hosting 5 panels.
Yes, 5 panels.
Yeah, we got a lot of panels.
Is
We
that
have-
all?
Yeah, we have Intro to 3D Modeling. We've got a RWBY Abridged panel, or it's actually more of a general, just like KRWBY panel. We've got a sound design panel. We have RWBY Trivia, and we've got some table reads. And it's going to be a good time. Katie's hosting the table reads. You're definitely going to want to be there for that.
I'm
Katie has
helping.
been...
I'm helping host the trivia. So
Yeah, that should be really fun. You showed me some of the questions that you came up with. Some of them are really good. They're all really good, but some of them are like especially good. With Katie's got some really fun stuff lined
Oh
up.
my god,
As always.
Like
I'm
it's
scared.
it's pretty great, guys. Like there may be a random script generator involved with RWBY characters.
Brace for gay panic.
So if you're gonna be there at ALA, definitely make sure you're gonna be there for that, because I'm gonna be there. I'm not missing that shit.
Sugar Rush says, "Is there a perpetually a jar this week?" There's supposed to be.
There's supposed to be.
In theory, it's recorded.
In theory, we are currently doing a lot of stuff prepping for ALA, so other stuff has been put on the back burner, and Perpetually Ajar is one of them. So I think It's probably gonna come out this week, but it might not be on Tuesday.
As long as it's before ALA, because it's got a lot of important information about ALA on it.
We'll do our best. I'm
It'd be
probably
awkward
gonna
for
work
that
on
to
that. I'm
come
probably
out
gonna.
after.
I was gonna sleep, but maybe I'll work on that tonight.
I was gonna sleep. See, always working.
That,
Perpetually
yeah,
working.
that's Brian.
For the
That's
record, my
your
puns
new
are
little
wonderful.
title. Was gonna sleep, but
Was gonna sleep, but nah. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you're able to attend ALA, we'd really love to see you. I think we're probably we're talking about potentially recording some panels. So
Nice.
maybe that stuff will end up on the channel or Patreon later. I
I
don't know.
definitely want to see if we can record I want to see, this isn't a confirmation, but I personally would love to record the table reads panel for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not 18 plus, so there's no reation. But that's up to Katie though.
Yeah, so we'll see. We've got a lot of stuff we've still got a lot of stuff to figure out there. Another thing that is happening at Anime Los Angeles, we are going to be doing another live in-person with cameras episode of this podcast at ALA. And it is going to be moved to Saturday rather than Sunday, because Sunday they kick us out of the hotel. Don't have a specific time yet because we have to work the schedule around our other pre-existing panels and other things that we have planned at the con. But we will definitely be doing that. So if you want to see our faces, then make sure that you tune into that. Also, in theory, I know the last couple times we've tried to do live in-person stuff at cons, the audio has been all fucked. In theory, we have what we need to fix that problem now.
Knock on wood.
So fingers crossed that we can get that working. It should work.
We also have a new camera, my new camera, so hopefully it should be really nice.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, ALA this week, it's gonna be fun. I'm sure we're gonna be posting about it throughout the week. While we're at ALA and stuff, kind of updating y'all on what's happening, telling you guys to come meet us for meetups. And do we have a meetup planned? We probably should.
I know that we're going to the RWBY cosplay gathering, which is on Facebook. I don't know when it is. I definitely am not running it this year.
We should probably put out a call to do like a legit like KRWBY meetup.
Yeah, a KRWBY meetup
Yeah,
would be
do it,
fun.
man.
I will say,
Yeah.
just in case, Perpetually Ajar doesn't come out before ALA.
Yeah, and then people
One of
can
the
buy
things,
their Beau called the ringtone.
one of the things that I did mention on there is that we are recording an extra special episode of Perpetually Ajar at ALA that I'm very
That's
excited
right.
for. Details to be announced with the episode when it comes out, so you'll just have to fucking wait.
Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to that recording session. It's gonna be fun.
Yes.
But yeah, so with that, that's all of the.
Oh,
I think that's all the updates.
Is
that all the information, Beau?
I mean, there's another thing that we may potentially be showing, but I will say that there's the plan to show a preview of Nondescript Winter Holiday 2 at ALA at the
Knock on wood.
RWBY Bridge with
There
KRWBY.
most certainly is.
So
And doing that has not made production life difficult at all.
yeah.
No sir.
Yeah. Listen, Brian.
Look, it's not just that. Like we definitely have plans. We are gonna be showing a preview of Nondescript Winter Holiday to knock on wood at ALA, and it's up in the air, but potentially might get some Volume 2 Chapter 2 stuff at ALA as well. But that's only going to be for the people who are there.
I will say the preview for Nondescript Winter Holiday will be going on the Patreon after ALA is done.
Yeah.
So
After ALA is done or after the panel?
after ALA is done, I want it to
Okay.
be exclusive to the weekend first, and then Patreon will get it.
Yeah, so for all of you who have been asking where's Nondescript Winter Holiday 2, if you want to see a little preview of that, head on over to our Patreon. That's where you're going to be able to see a glimpse of it before anyone else, unless
Yep.
you're at ALA.
Yeah, ALA
Then
gets
you'll
to
see it
Well,
before everyone else.
technically, we get to see it first, but
That's true.
Everyone
We've
else.
seen it for so long, Beau.
spoiler alert. Man, we've seen it so much. The mocappers were starting to say the lines from memory. So
Like it's been a thing. Although I will say, just to kind of talk a little bit about the process for Nondescript, we're doing so many things different with Nondescript that we've never done before with VR shorts. And I'm really, really excited about it. And one of the things that I'm personally really, really hype about is the fact that while getting Nondescript edited and finalized and getting picture lock for it has been taking a very long time, I'm really glad that we're taking the time to do this, and because we've never I don't think we've ever really had what I would consider to be a proper editing process before. It used to be with the previous shorts, just turn it out as quickly as possible. You guys would finish filming and you'd get picture lock turned around in 3-4 days. And now
we started filming November 15th, 16th. No, the 20th. We started filming November 20th, and I may have to go in and film something tomorrow.
I saw that. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fucking cry.
But I really love how much time we're spending on making sure that all the shots are right, going like we're really getting in detail with Corey is doing editing for this one rather than Steven, so we've got a new editor because Steven initially was not going to be available to edit it. And it's been really cool kind of taking a new approach to it and really getting in depth and going, this shot is a little too long, or this camera angle isn't working, do we have anything else, or that kind of stuff that previously was not really done a whole lot for
we
the
didn't
shorts.
necessarily consider it previously because we just wanted to put it out as fast as possible.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys being patient. We know that it's technically a Christmas short, and it's at this point long since Christmas. But at the end of the day, we just really want to make sure that it's the best that it can be. We've taken everything about the production process for this has taken extra time than basically all the rest of the shorts that we've ever done, including writing. We spent a very, very long time writing the script and really making sure that the script was solid.
This is my favorite script that we've written for a VR short.
Yeah. So we really we appreciate your patience, and we really hope that you like it, because we're doing everything we can to make sure that it's the absolute best that it can be.
And we're very tired.
Very tired.
Yeah, but that's never changed.
That's fair.
But yeah, so cool stuff coming to ALA. Nondescript Winter Holiday 2 is getting worked on. And Perpetually Ajar will come out some point this week, probably.
Eventually.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope to see some of you guys at ALA. It's been fun. We will see you on Saturday this week to talk about the next RWBY episode. It's been fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Boy.
My puns are good.